Welcome to the Growth and Banter podcast. My name is Blake McCullough, CEO and founder of GMS Media Group, one of Australia's leading digital marketing agencies. This podcast is for anyone looking to learn the insights and strategies of how to lead a successful life from industry leaders. Today, we've got Pip Edwards from PE Nation, and she's going to be sharing her life and journey of how to build a successful business and the recent rebrand of PE Nation. I hope you enjoy. Welcome, Pip.
Hi, Blake.
How are we?
We're good. We're fresh off a plane, happy, ready to talk to you.
Very good, yeah. So you've just had a bit of a break over in Bali. Maybe we get into that and talk about your little journey and your experience. You've just come off the plane, so thank you for even just making it. But yeah, talk me through your recent little journey in Bali.
It's been a big year and a half in my life at work, and I just really knew that I needed to take a moment to just reset and recharge. I call it solar charging because that's my source of energy that fuels me up, and I just had to get away and try and sit still, which was actually really hard the first couple of days, and then I really lent into it. So it was a really amazing trip, and I went solo for the first time in 44 years. I travelled solo, confronting and fucking amazing at the same time.
and you realise you love yourself.
I realised, I was a little bit worried about spending too much time with myself.
Yeah.
But I just, there's, it for someone that operates at such a turbo level that is always on and gets energy from people, and I'm so gregarious that even though I'm an only child, I'm sometimes terrified of being by myself with my own head because there's so much going on in there. But no better place than to confront that in Bali, where you can actually, just literally solar charge and just
switch off. Yeah,
relax.
It seems to be a bit of a trend.
Look, it was a balance of downtime and energizing uptime, but it was just what I needed. It's what the body needed, and the body told me that. The body told me I needed to have a break. Yeah,
absolutely. And you've obviously been through a lot with PE Nation as a brand. You've got a lot going on personally, socially. I can imagine that switch off is so important, and particularly
really hard to do though.
Yeah,
I think when you're on that hamster wheel, and especially with PE Nation just going through a rebrand, and we had to do that from ground up. So there was a lot in the background. And when you're wired that way for a good 25 years of your career, it's quite hard to take the pedal off.
Just go.
And think that, oh my gosh, can things still go on?
Yeah.
And reality is downtime is the key to progress.
Yeah. I always find when I take little times off, like I'm a big advocate of, even if it's just a week, like I'm taking a week off, not the next week, the following week after my birthday. And I did the same last year, and it was just a week. It's not a big 4-week Europe trip, and it just allows me to refresh and think creatively. So then I come back to the business, and I've got some insight, or at least a good idea to inject back in, and it allows you to sort of reset and just.
Well, you've also got to allow your brain to switch off to think, to be creative, and sometimes in my industry, I guess,
which is what you're doing every day,
is creative, and you have to be creative on call and to a critical path and on schedule. It's not your best work necessarily, so you got to take a back step to also listen to your own gut and your own intuition rather than all the noise that gets thrown at you. So it was really nice to see what bubbled to the top about how I felt about things.
Yeah, awesome. Any big takeaways?
Woo stuff's going on.
Hey, I love that stuff. I'm in the middle, not in the middle. I've just started a 10-day detox, so no sugar, no caffeine.
That'll never happen for me.
It's like I thought giving up alcohol was hard. Giving up sugar. Giving up sugar has been one of the toughest things. And I've done like a 3-day before, but 10 days of just, no caffeine, no sugar. The last 48 hours I've just been exhausted.
Sugar's a tough one because it actually is in a lot of foods anyway. and then the additional foods that you eat, and you don't realize actually how much sugar we have.
Even the fruit and like, you know, the coffee and the milk and just, all the sauces that you put on food. It's insane.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
No, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend
I'm not
it.
doing
No.
that.
But hopefully after the 10 days, I'll be feeling somewhat recharged. But you've gone through, would you call it a rebrand or a refresh or a relaunch of PE Nation?
An evolution.
Evolution,
Yeah.
The next stage of the progression in the brand.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've sort of were able to do that at the Fashion Week. And then you've gone as far as even stripping the whole socials back to square one.
Yeah.
How, talk me through that.
I guess, you know, when we started PE, we had such a strong DNA, a strong aesthetic, and it was quite disruptive at the time. And, you know, we really hit a trajectory that we couldn't even imagine that it would resonate so well. But over the time, people catch up, like brands catch up globally, and then you get on that hamster wheel, and then with our critical path, I don't know if everyone understands, but we work a year and a half in advance.
Yeah.
So to affect change, it takes a lot of time.
So it's not even a season in advance, it's a whole year and a
No,
half.
it was planned a long time ago. But also in this digital landscape, which has really ramped up over the time through the course of our business, trends and what what people are wearing and lifestyles have dramatically changed. So to be adaptable to that actually has to have a lot of foresight. So it's something we've been working on literally for about 2 years, but it took a good 9 to 10 months to strip back, analyze all the data, do a whole like ranging architecture, pricing architecture, and really get back to our roots to really understand what was our purpose, because you can lose that along the way and you can take on a lot of that noise. And then we all had this collective team idea of what we wanted PE to be, and it was going to be so different to the PE that everyone knows. But we had to be conscious of, you know, not turning our backs on our loyal customers, but also re-educating them on this evolution and how to step forward. And we went for it, and boy, did we go for it. I mean, to wipe the Instagram was a really bold move, but we had to, because it was such a marked difference to the PE that everyone knew, and we didn't want to compare. But Fashion Week was probably one of the biggest milestones of my career to date with PE.
Yeah,
because
congratulations.
Thanks. Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, the night before I was still like going, what the fuck? Is this going to work? Is this going to work? But I think when you have all the metrics and you've done all the research behind it, and you know that it's authentic to where we want to go and what we want to be, you've just got to commit and do it. And yeah, the result was overwhelming. So it's reinstated our position as being, you know, a fashion lifestyle brand, really. Like still anchored in activewear, but it's really about life. And I think that speaks to how everyone's living today, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. And like, you know, I think fashion it sort of stays stagnant, then it changes overnight. Like there's been a huge amount of change, you know, from skinny leg to now the baggies coming back, and I feel like there's all these different...
No, totally. But then you add TikTok and Instagram and you've got weekly trends.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah.
you just...
It's
so
fashion.
hard. So you've got to like pick and choose what's on brand. But I think for us, being insatiably curious drives change, and change is the only way to progress, and you can never rest on your laurels with any brand. You obviously have a DNA umbrella, but you just can't keep repeating stuff, and you've got to always be ahead. So that's really hard when you do have a big business that's structured with a lot of staff, but it's exciting. And it's exciting to challenge again, you know. I think we were really lucky to start when we did, and then got that COVID hit, and, you know, unfortunately for most, but fortunately for us in the right category, it worked really well. But that then before you know it, it was like 4 years had passed after COVID, and you're like, oh my God, we're still the same.
Yeah.
And you can't stay the same.
You can't stay stagnant.
Life is not static.
Yeah.
So your business can't be.
Yeah, they say business between that sort of 7 to 10 year mark.
Yeah.
You should be either looking to innovate, change, or exit. You know, so like that's the sort of average of when a business starts. I guess, hitting that bell curve of stagnation and,
Well,
you have to innovate, you have to change.
I mean, not to get woo-woo, but like that Ayurvedic idea of like creation, plateau, destruction.
Yeah.
From destruction comes creation, and that's the cycle. And it's not destruction, but it's like you've got to, you create, you find your level, but then you've got to kind of pull it apart again to create again,
Rebirth.
to go for,
Yeah, absolutely.
to go forward.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing something similar of, in a small business working with small clients, we've sort of reached that plateau in a way without us having to, I guess, aggressively hire, which, is risky in our industry, a lot of agencies out there. So we're thinking, okay, do we exit, but then we're a small business, so it's not really worth losing our business, and then you're going to look for a job? Or do we go the other path and, start collaborate? We do a lot of collaborations. So we're doing growth by collab. So we're building another agency that will have, the ad wing, the creative wing, and then the web and tech wing. And then we all go together and build a much bigger umbrella.
This is the thing. So, I mean, those situations allow for to create these new opportunities that are exciting. And I think you can't, it's actually, you're stronger together in all those ideas, but it forces you to find creative ideas. And I think that's what keeps, for me, with the business 9 years old, and it's quite a structured business now. I really love the intimacy of that startup mentality. So I really love going back to that passionate, be across the board and that. And I feel like we're round 2 of that again. And I think magic comes from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I guess we'll wind the clock back a little bit because I like talking about our story and how we met. I remember I had
neighbours.
an office. Yeah.
Everybody needs good neighbours.
That's it. I remember I had an office in Laporte, and I remember I think we might have said hi to each other briefly. And
corridor.
In the corridor, yep. And then, I
was shooting there.
You were, yep, the creative studio. And then coincidentally, right before COVID hit, I ended up moving right next to you.
And I couldn't have had a better neighbour.
Likewise.
For the lockdown.
Yeah, how good was that? Thinking back on it, I was like, lockdown is heavy, but then like that was such a cool period of time.
It was very special for my son and I because
shout out to J-Man.
Shout out to Justice.
It's like a little brother.
He is. But like just for everyone out there, our doors were side by side and I mean illegal, but in terms of lockdown stuff, but we kept our doors open because it just allowed for us to not be, not bang ourselves against the 4 walls and be able to still communicate with people
because you needed that, and there was a time, like I think people forget. I mean, we didn't have it as bad as say Melbourne, but our building we had that social sort of community going on, and like
whether we were talking over the fence or through the door,
we're doing yoga.
It saved us.
It did, yeah, absolutely, and it was just cool to sort of hang together and see the brand evolve since then as well. Like I always think COVID was yesterday, but that was like 4 years ago when it started.
Crazy, hey.
And I remember you sort of went into, because I know you've gone from female only to unisex, and then I was begging you, I'm like, get the male sorted, because like everyone started wearing, truckies at home. So like that evolution of trend and fashion too. And now, so you've gone back to just female only with your new launch.
So when we started PE, it was obviously a female. Well, that was our forte, Claire and I. That's what we knew, and really we were always fashion first. And then the interesting thing is, you go build a business, you get wholesale accounts, and they start to kind of pigeonhole you in a way. And then they got us going down this discipline road, and then they wanted this specific menswear. We had men always buying the women's wear because our style was tomboy, it was oversized, so it could fit men. And I'm sure the women were buying them for their boyfriends. But then we started to listen to all this noise and did menswear. And menswear actually did well, and it actually does really well in our store in the city. But it wasn't.
I've still got all the trackies, still wearing it.
And they were great, but it wasn't really innate at the core of the business.
Yeah.
And I think with the rebrand, we just really had to go back to what we knew and who we were, because you can absolutely get derailed along the way, and it's just so important to be and stick to brand. So with this rebrand, we stuck to what our strengths were. Admittedly over the time we did branch out quite quickly and did a lot of things like ski wear and all the other collabs, and that's all well and good because it's all part of an active lifestyle. But when you're rebranding and you're making a statement, you don't deviate. It's not about adjacency, it's about potency. So
but in the beginning, when you were leveraging off collabs and partnerships, like talk us through that strategy and how important it was, I guess, in just the infancy of PE Nation to go through and do those snow collabs and I think you did a basketball one.
There's a few one. I mean, like even before we brown, I had a lot of connections and relationships from my previous roles and career. But what I knew about marketing is that it's important to create context. It's important to create a situation that brings the product to life, but also that plays to the passions of what we love doing. So the snow thing was a really big part. Actually, what people don't know is that when we did our first collection, the first piece it was based off, so PE to everyone is physical education, and it's so nostalgic. Like everyone knows what PE is. It was your favorite like sport at school, like favorite class. But it was
that coincidental with Pip Edwards?
Of course, it was a little play
on the logo.
Our first thing we ever designed that set the tone for the business was a retro ski jacket. It was based off retro, that nostalgia of 80s, 90s. And no one knows that. But Claire and I, we're mad skiers. So it was just a natural progression to do skiing because it played to the lifestyle. But all of that stuff gives colour, richness, it gives purpose, it gives... and also create eyeballs, exposure. It allows you to expand. And so we did collabs with DC first just to kind of get the credibility. I think it's really important when you collab. You've got to collab with brands that go outside of your box but have credibility so that it actually brings in more credibility and more eyeballs in the right direction.
Expedites that growth, and you're able to align with other brands that have already established with a similar clientele.
Yeah.
So it speeds that up because it's very hard to enter a market and build that trust. And that is literally...
And especially in the active category, performance and all those kind of properties to the product, that's a 101. That's paramount. So you have to collab with people that are credible in their space.
Yeah. What do you think was the best or breakthrough collaboration you had?
It was the best, but ended up being quite an interesting end to it. It was our H&M one, funnily enough.
Right.
We were so lucky to be approached by H&M. We were the first Australian brand that ever approached to do a collab. And it was very early on in the day. It was pre-COVID, just before COVID. And... it was the first time they actually wanted the founders of the business in the campaign, which was crazy, and it was a global one. But we went and launched it, and that was an amazing experience, just working with such a huge global brand, going to Stockholm and going to all their supply chains, and it was just amazing. But we launched it in New York, and the minute we launched it, this was like end of 2019. We launched it in New York, left New York. New York went into lockdown. We went to LA, launched it in LA. As soon as we left LA went into lockdown. We came back to Australia, launched it in February 2020. Iceberg's really great. Awesome. Best sell through, 4 days of craziness. Then the country went into lockdown.
Oh, God.
So we did get a great exposure from it, but I don't think we got the legs we deserved just because of what happened.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And like because PE's not been around for a very long time. It's 8 years. And I remember when I first met you, we're living together, you're like 3 or 4 years into it and already crushing it. Obviously that comes with having some foundational skill set and knowledge. So prior, I guess, stepping into PE Nation, your prior experience with like Subi and even prior to that, I think it was a
lot of people don't
role.
really know how long I've been in the industry for.
Yeah, exactly, right? So like obviously there has to be something there for a while.
Two things. I was also corporate, so I used to work at PricewaterhouseCoopers. So I'm numbers driven, numbers wired, everything.
Which is crazy because numbers into creativity, like people usually have one or the other.
No. So I'm always founded in numbers, but my creative brain overpowers.
Yeah, wow.
So whatever decision I make, I feel it's always commercial, it's always feasible, but it'll always be a disruptive creative. But leaving PwC and going to Subi was pivotal for me in learning how important brand was. Those boys, their ride or die was brand.
Yeah.
And so the business, obviously.
Subi was like the it brand when I was younger. Like if you had a pair of Subis on, it's like your status.
They really nailed fusing community before social media even understood what community was, and the way their accessibility. They were the coolest guys, super creative, super gorgeous, but they used music as a very powerful tool to connect to people. And that was genius. I don't even think they understood that they were creating a marketing strategy that had never been done before. And I really took note of that, and I was quite in the middle of that. And they were right in the zeitgeist of Sydney where all the musos were coming to town, and the Subi boys had all the connections. So suddenly they were creating this fabric that was so based on culture, pop culture, subculture, but global culture.
In the peak of King's Cross nightlife as well. All the DJs.
They had their Bang Gang night.
Yeah, Bang Gang, Club 77.
If walks could talk. But any international act that would come to Australia to perform would absolutely hang out with the boys, go to Bang Gang, do side gigs, and it enabled these kids who maybe not could afford a pair of Subi jeans at the time. They were able to be around the environment and feel like they were part of it. And that is what we are still today trying to strive, is to create a community that is so loyal, that understands what a brand is. And I just don't know there's been another brand that has been able to execute that really well.
Yeah, you see it in micro versions, but like
they're fabricated now. This was such an authentic, organic rollout that it was word of mouth. It was like you only knew about it, you missed it, you didn't see it on Instagram, you weren't like, wasn't this like front-facing thing. It was just the elusive mystery of what everyone was doing was the excitement.
Yeah, it was the mystique around it, and the scarcity of the product as well, and the
and if
price
you couldn't
point.
buy the jeans, you could go on a Friday night to the Bang Gang party, and you'd see all the boys up there, and you'd almost be able to touch them and be a part of it. But like, and I think it really served them well, so well that goodwill they created, that brand equity they created back then, still holds strong today, and it's still even so with the powerful in America right now.
Even when they had to go from the Subi to K.
Oh my God, genius.
Yeah.
Still silent.
Yeah, exactly.
Subi.
Yeah, so good. I actually prefer it now, over time.
It was one of the most genius movies. That experience was pretty amazing in terms of branding, but also I learned a lot about branding around product and logo and logo placement, and any which way the jeans would turn, there was some little logo or icon or something where you could actually see the jeans. So when they were gifting, they never had to, there was no tagging or anything like that. You knew that was a Subi jean. Yeah. So I took that on quite well when we started PE.
The little windows and then the crosses.
And there was a special side stitch.
Yeah.
So that was something that was an amazing learning. And then I went to Sass and Bide, which was, I went from a boys' club to a girls' club. And that was amazing creatively, because those girls had such a creative brain in terms of the brief. And I worked directly with the creative director. I was senior creative, and understanding how she brought architecture and color and perspective and everything that's around us that's so everyday, how she would look at it in such a unique way that was something I've taken on as well for PE. So that was an amazing, and working with women, but like it was just such a beautiful, nurturing experience. So I've had those two worlds.
Yeah.
And then, am I giving like a little career?
You got numbers, then Subi, then Sass and Bide, and then
that business though, to be a part of a business that really flourished, before, I guess, the whole amazing success of the Zimmerman today, our most successful brand was Sass and Bide because of what their enterprise value was and what they sold for. And those girls, again, authentic to who they were, never deviate off brand, stuck to their guns. And I think that's really hard today. A lot of brands chase the trend, they don't know who they are. So I was really fortunate to work for two iconic Australian brands that did not falter.
No.
They would never compromise.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing to experience that. And then I worked for General Pants. So that was the other pivotal part because I was design director there, but I was actually accountable for product nationally and to work for a national brand that was a multi-branded brand, but understanding geography and dynamics and seasonality within the country, and also at a tier that was more mass. And it's at the end of the day, what do people want to wear and why are they wearing it? It's actually that fucking simple. It's not about, you actually got to know your customer. So I went from like being design purists, brand purists, like, you know, being disruptive to then going, what does the everyday person need?
Yeah.
I can't, like, that priceless experience.
Yeah, it's just understanding customers' needs and having that brand archetype and identifying that. Every brand that we've worked with that crushes it, you know, and that might be only
customer first.
Might be only 1%.
Customer first.
Yeah, and they just know their customer inside and out, and they build that community, and that's the difference.
I remember when I started at General Pants.
That was actually one of my first jobs. I worked at General Pants in Miranda.
I think it was a lot. I mean, it was when I was at uni. It was my first job on the floor.
I was on the floor as well.
I always worked retail,
and
that's another really important part too. If that's what you're going on to do. Working retail really is, it's just the reality check. It's like you think you know what people want to wear, but then you look at who comes through the door and you're like, hang on a minute, it's so different to what you think is in your head.
Yeah.
So one of my first tasks working at General Pants was my CEO at the time, Craig King, he made me go and work all the stores around to go, hang on, you can sit in the head office and you can, you know, pick trends and decide what to wear, but go see who walks in and we'll get you a budget and you've got to make it and you've got to ask them why. And it's the why. And that was ingrained in me. And so having all of those parts, pull that together, and then it came to PE, it honestly, I feel like I took the best of all of those bits.
You have, yeah. It's just taking all those
together.
like golden nuggets.
And that's not to say like everything was perfect, but I just understood the macro and the micro.
Yeah. And the numbers and the creativity, that amazes me because like I said, like that's a hard combination to have.
Well, I think in general, naturally being, you know, just from university and working 4 years at PricewaterhouseCoopers, it doesn't matter what it is. Like that's my base. So anything on top of that is just sweet price point.
I want to with the Subi, I'm back at that. The warehouse sales that they used to do, it was literally
the queues.
It was
crazy.
like I want to understand the intricacies of how they did that because
it was a shit
like
show.
You said,
it was a shit show.
Absolute shit show. Yeah, I remember there was one on Cleveland Street.
In that old church.
Yeah, the old church. Yeah, and there was like a kilometre lineup of people. Like maybe not that long, but very long. But like for them to do that. Just really like, I guess.
But it was the best thing as well. Like it was another way of like, I mean, those warehouse sales, they happen today, but they made those so fun. They had music, the boys would be there. Like they made everything about living and like it was never, for them, it was never work.
Yeah.
And I know like, obviously it's had a number of lives, but the point is that it should never really be fully work. You've got to really fucking enjoy what you do, and that passion has got to come through. And then you've also just got to commit to the drive of it. So, have fun on the way. We work so hard. You've got to enjoy it on the way.
100%. Otherwise, we'll be taking a week off every second week if we're not enjoying it.
I'll be in Bali every second week.
I'll join you. I was there about a month and a half ago, and I swore I'll never go back. But it's actually like put a new lens on on Bali, and I know there is a lot of like congestion there. And my mum was at the same time. She's coming back tomorrow, also on a solo trip. And she said it took her 2 hours to get 18 kilometers. So there is
I purposely, when I got to Bali, I went to the opposite side of the island for no temptation, just to have some downtime. But just for a second, I went to Ubud for the first time.
That's where she was going, Ubud, I think, from where she was.
I did some crazy shamanic healing, and I think I just found this whole other side to Bali.
Yeah.
There is balance in Bali. Like, you can have fun, but you can also really get back to nature.
There's
and
that
really
spiritual, health conscious vibe.
Strip it back. And I've just had the most life-changing experience with this shaman, and I'm actually blown away. Like, I'm still digesting what I learnt energetically, because it's a beautiful sacred space, sacred land. And I think today, when we're in the rat race and we're in the city all the time, we don't get back into nature enough.
No, we don't. No.
I force myself every day to try and go and see the horizon and horizon gaze, to realize that we're just bigger than we're part of something bigger than what's our everyday stress and ball and chain and this office kind of environment. But we've got to be outside to know that there is life, and that balance is so important for mind, body, soul.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like not enough of people are spiritual or even connected to their conscious.
But do you know what? COVID has brought it to our forefront.
It has.
And I think that's one of the greatest things that's happened. It's allowed us to understand balance and quality of life. I never know what to call them. Is it Gen Z? The next,
I don't know.
Okay,
the youngins.
The young ones, the really young ones, they've worked it out.
Oh, yeah.
But they're entitled to it, which is annoying. But they've worked out that that's actually
balance.
Important.
So true. I've got probably 5 people under or around that 25 age, and again, societal shift, right? Like growing up in Cronulla and having the peak of King's Cross nightlife, like it was you'd go out every weekend because it was just a thing, right? Like even when I was at high school in year 12, we'd be going out after footy on a Saturday. And now I've got a lot of my staff doing 75 hard. They're doing like 3 months off at a time. And like that was just unheard of to do that.
They have worked out that they don't need to do the 9 to 5.
And that as well.
They remote work. They probably remote work better. I'm sorry. I'm still a little bit old school because I really enjoy an office culture.
Yeah. There's got to be a balance.
It does frustrate me a bit. I'm still adapting to that change of it being okay, because I'm actually in the office every day, apart from what people might believe. I'm in there every day, and there's just something about that community and the ease of communication and getting things happening. I found remote working quite hard, but I get that that generation, that's all they know, and their currency is their phone, and they know how to operate that really well.
That's so true. I think you've got to strike a balance. I think, I mean, some organisations I know are fully remote, and that's great. But I think like for certain organisations that doesn't work well, particularly when you are trying to educate newcomers.
And when you work with
creatively.
Products, though.
Product as well.
Product's tangible, and some things just happen on the fly when you need to build and have those conversations. It's really hard to have those conversations.
Yeah, that energy and the collaboration's missing.
But but also trust and rapport with your team. That comes in the flesh.
Yeah,
that doesn't come over a fucking screen.
No, I agree. No, I think everything with a balance is important. We do a Friday work from home allows me to sort of go out and do my thing as well.
Work for you.
Well, funny that like we're recruiting for a new account manager at the moment, and we're getting people go. I'm 3-day minimum in the office, otherwise I'm not going to look for a role. Like, so there's people out there pitching right now that have like low skills, entry level roles that are demanding 3 days max in the office. So still, I thought that was like dead now after COVID, but
I don't.
It's just crazy. Like I remember I'd get a written warning if I was 5-10 minutes late to work.
Oh my God, I was always accountable for my every 6 minutes.
Yeah,
back in the day.
You'd basically get fired if you're rocking up late consistently. But yeah, societal shift is a important thing to know, and obviously that plays a huge part of like your new releases and fashion and everything, right? Like there is this health conscious society going on right now. I don't know if that's isolated to Australia, but Surely
No,
that's
I
expanding
think
globally.
wellness and that balance of life, but even just so the whole thing, just to bring it back to the rebrand, like I think prior to the rebrand, we went quite strong down discipline roads, like boxing, like this usual actual active disciplines. But now there's a global shift for just it's recreation.
Yeah.
It's the slowing down, whether it is the walk or the yoga, but it's like the odd things like maybe like paddle tennis or like just recreation where it's a bit more social. That's where it's kind of heading. And so that's why our rebrand is not so marketed at hardcore fitness.
Yeah.
It's just about what makes you movement, being in motion is so important for mind, body and soul. So that's our new motto is fashion that moves with you.
I love it. Oh, good. That's awesome.
And fashion that liberates your day. So you can actually just, whatever it is, whatever kind of movement you do, we've got you.
Yeah. That's great. And I think also technology plays a big part in people trying to like then have to almost, consciously step away into more nature and activities versus like 20 years ago, we were already doing that naturally. Everyone was riding their bikes. They weren't on their computer. They were probably more engaged with each other. Whereas now we're on our phone and we have to like have those.
I hate looking at what my screen time says to me.
Oh my God. It's addictive, right? So you have to have those forced times to, do more activities and plan more things and have that time out on the weekends. Otherwise, you're just easily stuck on the computer. Then over to, I call it, I work on my medium-sized screen to then go home and watch my big screen, and then in between you watch a little screen.
Yeah, right. Okay,
it's crazy.
Okay,
so you got to switch off, and I think like that is a huge thing. With the rebrand and I guess the journey you've had from COVID to now, and even prior to that, what do you think was the biggest challenge that you faced?
The greatest challenge was COVID. I just, initially it was scary as fuck. Wholesalers were sending back product. Shops were closing down. The world was closing down. Our factories were closing down. We were just, our inventory went through the roof. We just like, oh my God, there was no way you could project or forecast what the fuck was going to happen. And then suddenly we were just over-indexed and we were just like, oh my God. But then the pendulum swung and then it's like, oh shit. So everyone who used to be in a suit or used to go to work needed activewear or like track suits. And then things were just flying off the shelf. Yeah. As good as that might have been for our particular category, that's actually not how you want to run a business because there was just no way we couldn't keep up with demand. We couldn't even trade the product. We couldn't even try to get back into production. It was the Wild West. But we saw the biggest growth and I think we weren't prepared for that. And I think that's the thing in business. You've got to be prepared for growth. And we just band-aided our structure. Yeah. We just like piled on structure and, suddenly, we went from something like, I don't know, low 20 staff to like 52. It was crazy.
Yeah, wow.
And then you come out of it and you're like, life normalizes and then priorities have shifted and then everyone wanted to go out and then everyone wanted to live life and they just want to eat food and travel and this. And so suddenly everything normalizes.
Equilibrium.
And so, that's really hard when your structure's set up for a trajectory that's not sustainable and then suddenly it turns off. So that's been a really interesting process. I think that's a really honest answer to you. I don't think we talk about that a lot.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like the other way around. Like people might not have had a lot of success over COVID.
No.
And their businesses would have shut down. Then they've had to crawl back, whereas you've actually had that success. Then you've built the business. Thing. You've had to build the business to cope with that chaos, and then you've had to equilibrize on the back end to then go back to standard living.
Whether you had a really challenging time in COVID or a very successful time in COVID, it actually has the same level of issues because it's just the flip of the pendulum. But and then we just got on this roll of just repeating bestsellers, and this is where we got quite stagnant. So, and because we were trying to, you know, you sink or swim, so you're just trying to keep up and trying to breathe and just trying to keep going. We really had to stop and take a step back, and that's why we had to do this rebrand and just go, hang on a minute, we've gone down this river, and like we've been in the flow of this river, but is this river where we want to go? So it was very brave of us to do that. It took a lot of work. It was a lot of exhausting work, but collaborative work. And we got there.
River with a big waterfall at the end.
God, boy, did I love that waterfall in Bali. Let me tell you that. I was like, I just think of waterfalls. Waterfalls are actually an amazing analogy just because it just is so cleansing.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. But don't go chase them, right?
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
What do you think?
Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to.
And she can sing.
Not today, but I usually can.
Well, I've seen you do some collabs with Sneaky Sound with Connie on stage.
Oh, yes, I've sung a few times on stage.
Still yet to see it, but maybe you'll be selling tickets one day. What are you most proud of?
My son.
Yeah, J-Man.
I think through this whole journey of work and life.
He's been your rock.
He's been my rock. He's nearly at the end of year 12, and he's just the most level-headed, sensitive, gorgeous human who is black and white, who tells it how it is, who schools me to a T, who's my North Star, who's all these things. And you know him.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have him through this roller coaster of life and, you know, trying to make sense of the way we're all learning, it's all a work in progress. But for some reason, he's this weird oracle that just is quiet and just sees things for what they are. I'm just so grateful that I've had him by my side.
Yeah, no, he's a special human, J-Man.
But it's a lot too. It's a lot to it's a lot to raise a single mum, raise a kid to get to year 12, but then look at him and go, wow, he is who he is. That a lot of it doesn't have to do with me. He's born this way. I'm just so happy I'm learning from him, you know.
I can't bring him over and play Xbox with him.
I know. He's so past that now, though, babe.
Yeah,
You've got to play basketball with him now.
I've given it up too, I swear. Too good. Now, you spoke about, you know, prior to COVID, having that international expansion with PE. You've peeled it back.
Yep.
Are you just going to focus on the local market? Are you going back overseas?
So the big thing for us, with the rebrand, it's had an amazing response. We've managed to really get some new global accounts. The biggest focus for us is community again, and really, really establishing that connection and connecting with our audience properly. I think we just, in the thick of it, just took our eye off the ball there a little bit. So the next thing is the rebrand's been amazing and well received. So we're going on a bunch of, we call rec retreats. Like we're calling it the rec club, as in not like WRECK, but REC, like recreation club. And I think that's just to play to the way we see life now. It's not sporty and it's not discipline. We're encouraging recreation, and that is a better quality of life for everyone, for anybody and anyone.
Absolutely.
So our focus is bringing those to life, and we're doing some rec retreats in Australia. I'm actually in August going to London to roll them out there. So, but really targeting the cities and targeting the audiences this time. It's not a blanket thing, but the focus is LA, New York, London. There are key cities, really. I think you've got to really every now and then pull back and go, where are the wins?
Yeah.
You know, and really learn from them.
What's your favourite city outside of Sydney?
I really love London.
Yeah, London's good.
Just wish it had better weather.
Yeah, I know. But then it would be like flooded with Australians, even though it already is.
I just feel at one with London. I think it's my
London's
vibe.
Great.
I think for our brand, the way we style it and wear it, it's more of that London street. Obviously I do love New York. LA is just like a bit like Sydney. It's, you know, the weather's great. New York's really cool, but London for me is a fashion inspiration.
That's the first thing when I got there. The two surprises I got with London. One, it's leafy. I didn't realise how leafy it is.
In the summer.
Yeah, in the summer. But even still, there's like lots of parks.
Of the 3 weeks that's sunny.
Sometimes two. Because they don't have their beaches, so they rely on their parks, right? But yeah, the fashion over there is amazing.
But that's the nostalgia for the OG PE brand was like the London chav, and I know that might not fly, but I've always in my mind I dress like a 16-year-old boy. Like that vibe is the core of everything, and I just think it's about London.
Yeah. New York, I feel, is a bit overwhelming. There's
the funny thing is though, our brand is bigger in New York than it is in
really?
LA.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Miami.
Yeah, Miami.
Yeah,
not been to Miami, but that's a shock.
Miami, Dallas. But it's interesting when you know we do a lot of heat mapping.
Yeah, wow.
Just from our own online sales, but also from our wholesale accounts.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating, like where the uptake is.
Yeah, that's cool. I would not have thought that at all.
Yeah.
So you obviously embody like a healthy, balanced life, hence the
balanced. Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sort of balanced. But like, how do you balance it all? I know we've sort of touched on it a little bit, but what are your sort of go-tos, you know, aside from obviously taking breaks, going back to nature, but on a weekly sort of schedule, you know, to sort of run the business, you know, look after J-Man, do everything else with your social networking, you know, like what are your sort of secrets there?
Pilates, of course. That's my meditation. I have to do that at least 2 or 3 times a week because I'm so front facing and because I have to always be presentable and feel good and feel strong. Pilates is just non-negotiable.
And I think I'm in need of it because my lower back
I've
is
been telling you this
caning.
for years.
Yeah.
Like you just don't fucking listen.
No, I don't.
Sorry, I swear a bit. But no, Pilates is the core and it's the support muscles and the strength I need for if I feel strong and tight and I've given my body that attention, I can conquer my day. End of story. Nature's massive for me. Every day I get into nature. I have to go to the cliff and look at the horizon. I think it's really important for everyone. Horizon gazing is the thing, especially around sunset or sunrise. It's just, and there's different, what is it? The sun gives off different vibrations at those times, which your body does receive and they're receptive to. So, nature, Pilates. You know what else? You've got to have a little bit of joy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, music and singing is a really big part of what is a release.
Yeah.
I mean, not at a nightclub, guys. I'm just saying like around the house.
No 77 anymore.
I know, yeah, no, I'm done with this. But I play a lot of music at home to get my head in a zone that just gets time out. Yeah. I do a lot of interesting traditional and alternative therapy, which I'm really proud of. I think the therapy is amazing and it should never be your last resort. It's a work in progress and it's not something taboo. It's something, if you're on a journey of self and you want to progress, and I've got this new motto. Sorry, am I babbling?
Not at all.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Okay. I've got this new motto. I spent a lot of my life trying to prove myself for whatever reasons, prove my parents, prove people, industry, all the things that make us crazy. My thing is not to prove myself anymore, but to improve. So to improve is to go inside and really address all the things that we push to the side. So, and I do that in a number of different ways. I do a lot of NLP, which is neuro-linguistics programming, where I go into my quantum self and do timeline therapy, and I find that really exciting. And then I see healers and psychics and all the things. I do all of it because I think it adds so much richness and it gives so much more information rather than just textbook stuff. And we're energy-based. Guys, we're not textbook. We are vibrational we're in motion.
Yeah.
And I think energy
And you
is
can
one of the
tell
most powerful things. If you know how to read it, understand it, you can harness it.
Yeah.
It's way more powerful than the words that come out of your mouth.
100%. You can tell when someone's there and you're not energetically connected to them. Like it almost leeches you from.
And you
you
know what?
feel a bit that awkward, like yuckiness.
And you tend to try and make excuses for it.
Yeah.
If it's off, it's off.
It's off. Yeah, agreed. 100%.
End of story.
Yeah.
So I'm learning to protect my energy, not very well, but I'm also learning to read energy and to know where the vampires are or where the givers are. And I think that's a really big learning, and that's a forever learning.
And that's a massive skill to have. Like as soon as you can nail that skill, that's going to empower you
especially
socially,
especially in
sales, business.
though,
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of the time it's all relationships and networking. And
For sure.
if you're authentic and you're in your zone, in your energy, and you attract like energy, that's where the beauty of, you know, networking collaborations come from. It doesn't necessarily all have to be a business agenda.
No.
And from energy comes organic creation.
Yeah.
And that's what I find really exciting.
So segueing into what I always like to bring up on these discussions is like having a SWAT team in your life and business. So like people around you that you rely on, because when no one's fundamentally independent, as much as I like to think I'm independent, you rely on other people. You know, other people are more dependent than others, but building that SWAT team around you to, you know, live a sustainable life and also to get you where you need to go in business, particularly when you hit roadblocks in not knowing what to do, or you know, whether it is a financial advisor, whether it is, you know, your Pilates instructor. Talk me through what your SWAT team is. Maybe you can do some shout outs here.
No, it takes a village.
Yeah.
My number one would be my mum. Just because she gets me the best. We have an interesting dynamic, but you know, and she's so supportive of justice. So I need her. I want her, and he needs her. So for me, that calms me down in that part. 100% my Pilates instructor, 100% my healer, to my two healers, 100% my best friend Millie, 100% my other best friend who's the godfather of my child Mikey. People that I've had around me for years that I trust, and then those people. Yeah, they're the uplifting people, because there's been a lot of people. I find in Sydney, a lot of people want you to do well, but they don't want you to do better than them.
It's tall poppy syndrome, right?
And I've obviously copped a little bit along the way, and it's been a real eye opener on the opportunists versus. And the problem for me, I'm an empath, and I've got a big heart and a big sleeve.
Yeah.
And, I really like to believe what people say. Unfortunately, I'm the only one that's
the difference
that's
between
gullible. But
it's reciprocation, right? Like you want someone to be energetically connected, but also if you are giving a lot, which you do,
I give a lot.
You need that reciprocation in life. Otherwise, like it's one direction.
But I then know where I get it from, so I can pull it from nature or somewhere else. I can get it. But I now need to know. I need to just be mindful.
Protect it a little bit.
Yeah, protected of it. But I do have mentors. I've got business mentors. My once upon a time boss, back in the day at General Pants. He's still my mentor, which is beautiful.
That's awesome.
And who else? Oh God, not many. But you know what? Yourself. You've got to be your own self too. And I think that's why I do a lot of this self stuff.
Yeah.
Because
it's so important.
It's the noise, and you've got to hear your intuition.
Yeah.
And even though you can have these support networks that give you all their opinions, they're not you.
No.
So I think the biggest one is really trusting yourself and trusting your gut. But then you got to have good gut health to trust that.
Amen. I just found out I'm lactose intolerant. So
well, there you go.
No more dairy for Blake, amongst all the other things. That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's so important to surround yourself with the right people, and
also like the other thing is like expansion and elevation, right? I think not that like you are the company you keep, and that's all cool. You can outgrow relationships, and that's cool. It doesn't mean anything bad. But I'm so curious. I am insatiably curious. So I love meeting new people, going out, and all of those things. So I don't ever want to lose that. And I think that's a big way to expand and elevate.
That's funny you said that, because my M&A business advisor right now, who's structuring this whole new agency we've been working on in the background for a year, that's going to be a 3 to 5 year plan, and there's a lot involved in that. He does mergers and acquisitions and ex-agency, and I asked him the question, what continues to motivate him. He's in his 60s, surfs, he's going on a surf trip to Indo soon in 5 weeks, and just has a young soul. And he said the same thing. He goes, stay curious. And I think that's the most amazing thing.
Curiosity is the greatest thing for evolution and change, and you're genuinely interested.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing my dad always said. He goes, don't be interesting. Be interested.
Be interested.
And
yeah.
I'm born to, I don't know, I'm always looking, always watching, always picking up on dynamics.
You're observant.
I'm so open to new experiences. Like, that's what keeps me alive. That's what keeps my business going, what keeps my vision going. I want to know what's going on out there, but genuinely I do. And I throw myself in those situations. I'll go to different festivals or weird experiences or travel or whatever, because I'm not scared of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if a lot of people do that. They like to keep their monotonous kind of safe life. And I don't, my safety is knowing that I have my foundation with my son and that kind of thing. But everything above that is I'm a free spirit. And I think that's been the key to staying ahead.
Yeah. Such a Taurus. But like comfort.
Love a red flag.
Yeah.
Love a red flag.
But like comfort, most people probably will live in comfort and not know how to break out of it. But like, to me, comfort's my own worst enemy. Because if I'm sitting there doing the same thing over and over again, I start to become insane. The definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again, right?
And not get a different result.
Right, exactly right. Like expecting you to get a different result and doing the same thing every day.
You always do what you've always done. You'll always get what you've always got.
Like me not doing Pilates and having a sore back.
I've told Blake for as long as I've known him to fucking do Pilates.
All right, we'll do a deal.
Let's check in.
I'll go to Pilates with you next week.
I mean, I don't know if you're at my advanced
No,
level.
definitely not. Is there a beginner level?
Yeah. My instructor can do you like.
Okay, cool. Intro me, and I can add that to my sport team.
Yeah, fine.
I need it.
Yeah,
that's a transaction. I guess looking ahead, because it's in your business, you're pre-planning a lot of things. A year and a half ahead of time, but. For Pip, like, what does the next sort of 5 to 10 years look like for you?
I've really been looking at what defines me in my journey of self, and I've come to the realization that PE doesn't define me, and it did for a long time because it was my baby. But I'm in this zone of wanting to explore. Because obviously I do a lot of, I'm with IMG, so I do a lot of third-party partnership stuff, which I love. But I'm in this mode of really expanding on my creative experience. And that's not necessarily, that's PE still there, but I want to be able to apply that. I just want to see where that goes. The business has grown, and because the business have grown, I've grown as well. And I've learnt so much, and I'm just so excited about seeing where those skills can transfer into little random fun projects in other industries. I'm just whether I'm interested in, and I'm not. I've just come off the fucking plane, by the way. Interiors or beauty, or like I said, I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm not ball and chain to I can't be that. So I'm just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Well, it seems like you've got it figured out, so I'm sure I'm sure you're going to
Get
experience
there.
a lot of cool
I think a lot
things.
more travel now that my son is so close to finishing year 12. Like
He'll be able to travel with you?
my whole mission in life, my number one thing in life was the stability for him and giving him the education he needs, and I've done that, and and in 3 months' time, he's about to leave home, so that's a really big wake up call for me.
He's moving out.
Yeah,
Wow.
he wants to move to America.
Oh, wow. What's he,
So I'm
basketball?
about to go through a midlife crisis.
We'll have to do some cooked dinners. Don't worry. We'll come around.
I've got to convince him to stay. No, he just wants to go, and I want him to. He's so ready. He's ready to go and experience the world. And
is he going to do like college over there or
he wants
basketball?
to.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
But for me, it means that everything I've arranged my whole life on is going to not be there.
Yeah.
So I'm just going through this journey of what does that mean for me? It's almost like I've get my life back. Like, I mean, I fell pregnant at 25, had him at 26, and my whole life has been based around him. And so now it's like maybe my life's based around me now.
Yeah.
My choices.
Give back to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he'll be back.
Yeah, I it's not even about. I'm just like I don't even know who I am without him.
Yeah.
In a really weird way.
We just have to lean into your swap team or your village a little bit more than
My village.
your village. Look, a lot of people naturally look up to you as, I guess that health figure, but also the business personality, but also just your own personality. Like there's a lot of people that admire what you do, and you've built an amazing life and business and story behind that. What advice, I guess, would you give to people that are looking to, accomplish things, whether it is in family or socially or through business? What are your
Connect
top
to your
tips?
passion, be authentic, and go for it. The thing is, I think for me, what made me survive through all the challenges, and it's not easy. It might look easy on Instagram, but it's not easy. But my number one driver was my son. I was able to connect to something that we needed to survive, and you're unstoppable when something so real is there. So that's been that. But my advice is, I remember when I left PwC, I was really nervous about leaving something that was just, I was so set up for that corporate world. And the partner I reported to at the time, he said, there's 3 different things. It's like, what's your skill set? What's your passion? What are you good at? They're 3 different things. If you can put them down in a column and write them down and see the common thread, that's your ikigai. It really is. And you don't even realize, but you've really got to understand, what have you learned? Like, what have you actually got your skills in? What's your experience? And then your passion, and then all of that. It's a really interesting exercise. But I think passion overrides everything, because passion is the heartbeat that is the motivator to keep you get up in the morning despite all odds, despite all obstacles, especially in the current landscape where there's a lot of unknowns.
Absolutely.
It's a bit of it's like I said to you before, it's an Armageddon
world.
I've called it an Armageddon world out there.
Feels
it's very
like it.
hard to plan for. It changes really rapidly because it's digital at first. So I just think people need to not chase the optics, but chase it for themselves. And then if you do what you love, you will do it well. You don't chase the money, you chase what you love, because if you're happy every day and you're happy to walk into your office every day, you will succeed, whatever the definition of success is for you.
Yeah.
And that you've also got to work out.
Yeah,
what does
for sure.
success mean for you?
Yeah.
Success for me is just making sure my son's happy and we're happy, and can pay the bills.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the
But it's a feeling. It's a feeling.
Yeah.
And you got to want to thrive. You've got to feel valued. You've got to feel inspired. That can come at any level in any job. I just think it's just down to yourself. So you've really got to know yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go on a journey of self.
Go to Bali, sit under a waterfall.
Eat, pray, love. Honestly, like at 44, I've gone through so many transitions of what drives me, and I've learned, not too late, but I've come into this space of going, what makes me really happy? And if I'm really fucking happy, I'll do really fucking well.
Yep. Yeah.
It's that simple.
And look, 44 is still very young, and you've done so much already. And, you know, I don't even know what else there is to accomplish in your life, but I'm sure you will accomplish a lot more. So you'll be fine. Pip.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the next 5-10 years.
So am I. I'll join you on the journey. Before we finish up, last question I like to sort of
is it a thumper?
ask.
Is it a big one?
I don't know if it's a thumper, but it always gets different comments. What would you say to yourself, you know, from your if you're looking at your 18-year-old self right now, what advice or what would you say to yourself?
Do it all again. I don't know. Like I think I was really privileged to have parents that pushed me. I'm an only child. I was really, at the time, they really pushed my academics, they pushed my music, they pushed my sport. I think that's what you do with only children. You kind of make them do all these things because you don't see them as I think when you have multiple kids, you see strengths and weaknesses. At the time, it was fucking crazy. But they gave me a foundation that has come tenfold back around. They taught me discipline. They taught me structure. They taught me commitment. And I said yes to everything. That's back to being curious. And if I said, when I started off my career at PricewaterhouseCoopers, I never ever thought I'd have my own business. I never even thought I was capable of doing that. But I said yes along the way to so many things because I wanted to learn. I wanted to understand. You got to want to understand. You can't teach that. I think that comes from you. So what I would say to my 18-year-old self is you're going to be okay.
And do it all again in no other fashion and how you've done it. Very good. Well, Pip, thank you for getting off a flight straight into this after your liberating experience in Bali.
I think you got the best bit of me though, because I think when you're kind of a bit like off cuff and coming off such a holiday that was so reflective, I've given you just the vulnerable side of all of it.
Oh, so. You've been fantastic, and it's been amazing to catch up and just share everything. And
now, do we have a margarita?
Well, I'll be breaking my detox if I do, but 100%.
No, let me know when it's done.
We've had enough of those together, but yes, 100% in time. Firstly, Pilates, then margarita.
Yeah, fine, in that order.
Exactly. But no, thank you, Pip. I'm really excited just to see what the next future 5-10 years looks like for you. You're going to crush it, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
Much love.
You too.
Thank you.